And the current, so now I'm pushing to starboard, which means the current is coming from a different direction.
So I do think that's part of the diet. Right. The question is whether there's something else going on.
That's totally opposite of what we were feeling.
But the fact that they're attracted to that sulfur right over.
The fact that you see them swimming over the surface of that molten sulfur pool, what the heck are they doing out there?
Should I come down?
Well,
no, stay where you're at.
That thing was like 150 or 100.
I'm only 2.5 meters up right now.
So yeah, but that actually
interior, but it's got to be pretty hot on the surface too.
All right, current shifting direction, visibility is dropping.
So when the New Zealand guys first found the allied fish in the Kermadec, these fish were on a vertical sulfur wall. You look at the pictures, and they're literally on vertical walls going up and quite dense.
So you're Delta 12,
and
altitude.
Just sitting there.
So you're safe, you're fine.
That's a bit odd.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Do you see ourselves in sonar?
Those were
Is this you?
our dives with
Is this the tether and you, maybe?
That's right. That's right. Was that Brothers?
All right.
Macaulay.
Macaulay, that's right. It's Macaulay.
I'm going to try one more thing, and then...
Hypax got you 158.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
154.
Little flows of sulfur that they weren't active, so they were
155. You're at 156. You're looking straight ahead.
You have a range.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
looking sulfur flows, and
Let's see here.
there those fish were.
Yeah, I think it's right in the. Right in the center there. Yeah.
Fluttering around
Okay.
on the surface of the
You
sulfur.
see me just off.
That's got to be him.
Okay.
I don't. So this was in the
Turn
crater of a
straight for you.
cone.
Are we thinking maybe go perpendicular to the current to see if we can get to cleaner water and then go up current?
Other kinds of food for them in there, like polychaetes or whatever. There was little venting in that area.
This happened quick, didn't it?
It did.
So there could have been.
Temp's gone up a
Okay,
bit.
we are seeing an
13,
awful lot
13.2.
more cloudiness in the water up here.
And the current has shifted directions.
And the pilots have told us the currents have shifted directions again. You can still see the seafloor. It's mostly volcaniclastics. You can see lots of flatfish on it, just barely, but in the Sirius view, we can see nothing.
Let's see.
What we're trying to do is head...
I'm guessing there's, I mean, there could be a lot of this white cloud kind of pouring out of the big crater at the, that we're heading towards. So
that's what I'm thinking too, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yep.
Are they okay with continuing up slope with the visibility they have?
Well, we shall ask. Pilot watch lead.
Yes, I heard the request.
We're just wondering if it's possible to go further up. What are your thoughts
my
about
concern
this?
is that we get up top and it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, understood.
So let me talk to the other pilots and we'll come up with a plan for you. But visibility is, I mean, I'm 2 meters off the ground and
can't see a thing.
I can't hardly see much, and we've lost visual on Sirius, and the current has switched directions. So stand.
Right. Okay, the pilots are going to talk about this, Bill. They're concerned because they're just, they can't see anything in Sirius at all, and they're just 2 meters off the bottom, and they can, it's pretty hard to see. And I think you're probably right that there's a lot of stuff coming out of the top of the volcano, and the currents have changed on them. So
I mean, I'm looking at. What is that, like
current coming now?
6 meters ahead of me, and I can't even see that, so there's just no way we're going to be able to see D2.
No,
he's
that's
saying
like 4
he can't
meters.
see 6 meters ahead of him. Pilot, which way are the currents coming now?
Well, it's almost opposite of where it was coming. So I'm pushing. It's now seems to be coming from the south, the southeast, which is opposite of what we had earlier.
Okay. Pilot says it's coming from the southeast, which is exactly where the crater is.
So
they're talking about it. They're trying to figure out what to do.
We could. One possibility would be to move the ship to the east side of the crater and see what it's like over there. So we'd have to come up off the bottom probably to do that.
Yeah. They would have to go around clockwise, probably around the north rim of the crater.
Right.
They're talking about it.
Should work.
Hang on, Shore. They're wondering what to do.
Hanging on.
Okay, stand by. It's interesting that there's a large angular block of these volcaniclastics that are just draping the slope that has broken off. You can actually see where it came out of on the edge of the slope and just moved down several meters and is just sitting there.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
an
called-
impressive block.
Very impressive.
I think I remember when we were here before, up near the, closer to where the big crater is, there was a lot of kind of broken up sulfur impregnated kind of blocks like that. So it was kind of a mix of
Okay, so
ash
co-pilot.
layers and sulfur layers. And
So you're
crust,
facing 130.
all
What's the
kind
bearing
of
from
sticking
Sirius to
together
D2?
in a sandwich, big layer cake. And but then those had in turn
can try
been
it
broken
again.
up and
What are we on right
cracked
now?
apart. So there were pieces
Okay.
of those things on the slope.
That's
kind of,
black.
Kind of
Wow.
And
like
yes,
what
I
we're
do see
looking at.
glow.
So it sounds like the camera is for a minute.
Yep.
That sulfur stuff.
All right, that works for me.
Yeah. Sounds like sulfur
where I
is
thought you were.
cementing the volcanic plastics to some extent anyway. So
Oh,
it
really?
must be.
Definitely in some places
Yeah.
more than others. But
Okay.
a little bit everywhere.
50 degrees.
Always sort of
So
coming
how
out
far
with
are they
ash.
stretched out right now in USBL?
Yeah,
I'm just
I
curious.
imagine it's just sort of diffused
22 meters.
because
So 22
the ash when
meters,
it's
15
laid down
meters,
and
and
it's
you're looking
fresh
down at
is
50 degrees.
very porous.
All right.
That all sounds right.
Well, they're
Yeah, no, I'm
saying
much
words
happier
like,
than I was a few
this
minutes
seems
ago.
manageable.
No, we
so
lost.
maybe we'll be
Yeah,
able to
it
get
was
going here.
So I
We
think
are
Almost all
moving,
visual.
Go
and
ahead.
you
Started
can see
backing up
crests
and
of the volcanic plastics.
coming down slope.
It's kind of amazing. It's like we're really.
All right,
in
well, let's
the
get lined
birth.
up on 150.
Yeah, it's a very
I'm gonna follow
foggy
them.
night
You're gonna try to.
somewhere
Well,
near the
yeah,
Gulf
we'll try
of
that.
Mexico when a
Thanks.
cold
Yeah, I would
front
say
is
continue
going
up this,
through.
and then if currents continue to come from one direction, we can go perpendicular
Yeah.
to
You get
them
fog in
until we get
Florida,
into cleaner
Shirley?
water.
Yeah,
She goes, yes.
like Vogue around the island of Hawaii.
Oh, it's not. It's much worse. It never gets this bad. Maybe on the big island near the crater. Yeah, but
Okay, co-pilot.
on Oahu sometimes
You
it
could turn
has
your
been
heading to
looking
go to
since
150.
Kilauea's been
Yep, I'll do
erupting
that.
like
Thanks,
Los
Sid.
Angeles, and we can't even see the horizon. I live about
Bring
1,100
myself to
meters up a
150.
slope,
I'm going to stay all lights off. Video this
kind
view
of
works for me.
just north of Diamond Head, and I can see these
wow.
beautiful sunset views of the ocean. But man, when the volcano's pumping out and we get south winds, which we do
Yeah, a
whenever
lot,
there's
yeah.
Okay.
a storm coming across the North Pacific, then we get all of that, what we call not smog, but
Fog.
VOG.
Fog.
V as in
140
Victor
right now.
OG,
Just
yeah.
keep bringing it around.
Volcanic smog. Okay, so we see
Yeah.
some little
Let's see how that works.
not craters, little just pits, or what were we calling them earlier? Depressions, I guess.
Blebs.
Well, depressions. But still,
All right, let's.
flatfish
How
all
far from
over
D2
the
to that
place.
waypoint?
D2 to waypoint, 37 meters.
Let's go ahead and get the 30
So how
meter
far
move
is
then.
that to the waypoint?
30 meters?
Nav?
Yeah, toward 150. It's just under 40 meters to the waypoint.
Okay, folks on shore, it's 40 meters to the waypoint.
Bridge ROV nav.
Number 5, which is right at the crest.
Yeah, we'd like another
of
ship
the rim
move, same as
around
last.
the large crater
30
at the
meters,
summit.
bearing 150 degrees, decimal 2 knots.
So it has cleared up a little
Say that
bit.
again, 40 meters?
40, yes.
Good copy, Bridge.
Okay, yeah. It seems like the visibility's improved a little bit.
It has. You can see a more...
Marina, remind me about the snails that were those in the sediment? But I remember we saw these little round things and didn't know what they were until we actually took a scoop, and there they were in the sample. Am I remembering correctly?
It's just a ledge.
Oh, a ledge.
Of
Okay.
plastic.
You can take a look at that, Tara. Some stuff in there.
Sure. So, folks on shore, we're going to be, I think we're going to be zooming on this
Temperature's
little
gradually
ledge
increasing.
of a layer of pyroclastics
Probably
that
because we're getting
has a few
this hot
crabs
stuff
hiding
going on
under
to
it
us
and a
so
whole
far.
bunch of flatfish on the top of it.
Go ahead and zoom in.
So I think that's just a protruding portion of a layer of volcanic clastics, maybe cemented by sulfur, maybe.
Wow, nice
I-
view of the
I don't
flatfish, too.
see any bubbling coming out anywhere around here. But I do see bubbling in front of the field of view.
Anytime you have a layer like this, I think it has to be, have a lot of sulfur in it to make it so
Consolidated.
that it's, yeah, exactly.
Right. Bill, can you see the bubbles coming up in the front of the field of view? I'm not sure exactly where they're coming from, but I can see bubbles rising.
Yeah.
Cracking
Closer
focus
to
to
the
the
vehicle,
bubbles.
looks like.
Yep. We're panning down. Maybe we'll find the source. I can see the bubbles
Find
pretty
those
well.
strings,
Zoom out a bit, Tom.
that are hanging down from the flat.
That's from
Oh, here we go.
I don't know, they almost look like drips or fins or something.
Yeah, the bubbles look like they're coming right out of the slope in front of us, just really
Zoom in.
diffusely. In a little patch here, we're zooming in on it. A couple of places, holes
After
where
this, I'll push out.
just the seafloor is bubbling with carbon
Still
dioxide.
pretty far ahead of me.
Should be a good view for you now.
sorry.
Oops, just
I
went
was
off.
just trying to turn on some shutter.
Came back on.
Yeah, just coming out of little holes right there.
Right.
Looks like ship is almost halfway through the move.
Okay. He's still ahead of me.
To maybe reassure the ROV pilots and crew a little bit, the problems we had with the CO2 were at a deeper site where
Okay,
it was
so now-
coming out as a liquid, really
Yeah.
sticky as a
Okay.
liquid, and it just sticks to everything.
I gotcha.
So you're not going to have the same problem with these
Yeah,
gas
how do you like to
bubbles.
see that?
Okay. Yeah, look as we
The
pan.
liquid was
Oh.
coming out and like
Zoom in.
sticking to plastic surfaces.
I'll push
and
up.
it could damage plastic if
Okay.
What was that,
in
Pat?
case.
Go ahead and zoom in.
But the gas bubbles here should just be rising right up and bounce off of things.
Right.
Above
They're
you
pretty
now.
benign
Pull
in
up.
comparison.
Okay. You're going to get a view of some submarine erosion caused by the sample box of the ROV in a minute there on shore.
All right,
It's
zoom
just a
out.
bunch of ash kind of making its way down slope. Pilots on shore, they just wanted to reassure you that the CO2 bubbles that were coming out at deeper sites at higher pressure were liquid, and those were sticking to plastic on the vehicle, and that was what was corrosive. But the gas bubbles we're seeing here are really not a problem at all.
Okay.
Ship only has about 7 meters left in the move, not even.
Okay.
Everything looks good.
Ah, the Sirius view is still very smoggy, foggy.
So what we had to do, Watchlead, is turn off all our lights on Sirius.
I might winch up a little bit, co-pilot. That way the tether doesn't get above you.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, he's fine. Just I'm pushing out.
Yeah, he'll use up that tether in a second here.
Yep.
Nice.
Coming back down.
And tilt up to follow me as well.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of fish.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish.
So D2 is about.
Yeah, I mean, you see slopes like this, and they're so extensive. I mean, there's just
Gee.
the number of fish is just mind-boggling.
Oh yeah.
It is completely the dominant species at this dive site. At
Too
least
bad we
so
can't
far.
collect them.
Temperature
No, we
continues
certainly
to
can't.
rise,
Sure, it would be nice to get one,
14,
get some of that gut
14.2.
flora.
Oh yeah.
So we're just about at waypoint 5.
Now
Just there,
we're
just
seeing some
coming up on the
white
ridge.
patches on the
Patches of it,
seafloor.
yeah.
Is
Of the
probably
rim of the
where
crater
some
should
of the
be.
sulfur gases are coming out, and we got bacterial mats. See almost ripple mark surfaces
Yeah,
up
those
here.
look like some of the sulfur crusts or the ash impregnated with sulfur.
So the plan after this
making,
is to descend
more
down
resistant
into
layers.
the crater. Is that right?
The next waypoint's right down dead center of the crater. Yeah, ship's just getting into position
There
here.
are some nice ripple marks here.
Yeah, I can get serious.
These light
we can keep going
linear
towards it.
features you see on the seafloor are caused by
Yeah, I'm starting to lose some
currents
of what I
that
have
Yeah, you're stretched
are
out real far.
predominant
Coming back hard.
in the region. And we're seeing a drop
That's
off
better.
right in front of us and a fish in the water that, oh no, those are flatfish. I thought maybe
You
that
want
was
to keep the
something
boat
different.
coming?
The
Yeah.
guys swimming
let's
through the
I
water
agree.
column
do
are
another 20
flatfish.
meters.
150,
We'll,
155 is fine.
And we'll get set up. Yeah, 150 is fine. And we'll get set up for a
And
descent.
they
Bridge,
are
are we
having a
now?
hard time swimming against
This
the
is
current.
right.
We are ready for another ship move.
So
20
do you
meters,
think,
bearing 150 degrees,
we're
decimal
over
2
the
knots.
lip of the big crater, and that the
Yep,
big crater's in front of us? Or
I do think that.
Good copy,
I wasn't
Bridge.
quite sure.
I do think that, Bill. We are at waypoint 5. The vehicle is pointed to the southeast. So what we're seeing is the southern striking arm of the rim around the crater right in front of
Altitude
us.
lock
So
is
the
going on
pit
and off.
is to our left.
Yeah, it's just soft.
Right, so it's kind of a gradual lip. We went from going up slope, and then now we're looking down slope.
Downslope in front of us. Yep. Right in front of us is the open
Turn
crater.
around to look at me.
We're kicking up a lot of the loose ash on the seafloor with the prop wash and looking into the abyss. And that abyss, the bottom of this is at 430 meters. Right now, we're at 370 meters, and we're sitting right on the bottom. And you can see
You can get some
Sort
backlight
of
on that if you want.
plates of volcaniclastic
Well, I don't know if it's going to. You can try it.
striking out
That's-
into
I'm
the,
gonna go blind.
the
That's
water
okay.
column at the edge of the pit.
Yeah, let's just kill it.
Back off.
So what?
On the map, the ship has its bow sticking about halfway over
Correct.
the edge of the crater.
Right. If you can see this on your quad screen, quad screen, the lower left image is the bathymetry, and the bow of the ship is a little more than halfway down. The tip of the bow is a little more than halfway down the crater.
So I'm coming hard to starboard.
Wow.
Like a sulfur crust
So-
over ash. Or
Uh-huh.
something that we're looking at just kind of a thin crust.
Yep.
Of course, there's ash on top of it too. So I don't know if it's worth trying to go in the crater. I'm looking at the serious view.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cloudy.
Yeah, I'm not sure I mean, there's probably a lot of this.
So I'm pushing hard to starboard
out of
and
there,
forward
so
to
probably
stay
the
in place.
deeper we went
Hard to
in,
starboard.
the
It's
more
gonna be worse.
visibility would
South.
get.
Well, that's
I
consistent
suspect
with
so.
this,
So I'm not
Yep.
fish
sure
being blown around.
we would get much out of it in the end. So
Yeah,
Go around the
what do you
rim,
think, Dave?
maybe this.
the clockwise around the
Yeah,
rim.
it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, I guess, do you see that crater as where the last eruption took place in the end of 2014?
Yeah, why don't you come up?
I think so because it used to be 2 craters and now it's 1, and
Right.
there must have been some kind of activity
Go ahead, survey 1.
that did that. And even back in 2006,
I
there was
don't
an
think
awful
we'd
lot of
want to
sulfur
descend down the side. I think
cloud
we'd
coming
want
out
to
of the
just
2
do
craters,
a hop
or at least
over
one of them.
at
I
this
forget
depth
that,
and then descend to
you know,
waypoint 6
somehow
if that's what
there's-
we want to do.
that's the center of
But
activity.
I don't think with this visibility
And,
we'll want to
there's
try
the
to
plume
shimmy down
height
the
in
side.
2014 was consistent with it coming out of there too. I think
Yeah.
where all the
Let's,
hydrant was.
Could ride the rim and
So,
Yeah.
Right.
See if
so
it
what's
cleans
your
up.
thinking about going around the
Around
rim
the
of
rim.
the crater and seeing how it looks?
Yeah.
I'm asking
I
Bill.
think that's fine. That would be the best alternative. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what's going on in the bottom of the crater, but from what we've seen so far, it's probably not worth trying just because of the visibility would be so marginal.
Mm.
We probably wouldn't end up seeing what we'd like to see.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Bill, this is Casey.
Yeah, we
The-
should come up a few
We're
more
not going to
meters.
go into the crater. The visibility is too low right now for us to safely maneuver. As it is, we already at a very limited visibility.
So if I'm pushing to starboard
Yeah.
against the currents.
That makes sense.
So we want to go
So
up
maybe
current. so we
going
probably wanna
around
go
the rim somewhat and
counterclockwise,
just
right?
seeing what's
That's what
up
I'm
at the
thinking.
rim.
They were talking clockwise,
we'll
but
pick the
I'd go
direction
counter.
that
Yeah.
might have the best
Hey,
visibility.
watch leads.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on
So-
one second, Bill.
Sulfur crust here still. I'm wondering.
So I think front row agrees that going around the crater rim
that
is
would be something
gonna
by
be
going
more
around the
valuable.
crater, we'd see,
We're noticing a strong
if there's
current
any
coming from the
change in,
southwest.
what was
So
maybe
I would
thrown
suggest going
during the last
counterclockwise
eruption
around the
or
rim
if
to
anything
get
was thrown out.
upstream.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's
And do you have any other?
okay, so there's a
Thank you, pilot.
strong current.
So
There's a
ship's in
current
position
coming from
here.
the southwest.
Yeah. So
So what they're suggesting is
I'll
we
have him
go
kind of bisect direction of
counterclockwise
motion,
around the
and
rim.
We'll kind of shimmy diagonally.
okay. Should I get Sirius where you are and you kind of push south?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm
sound good?
interested to
Yeah,
see if
let's do that.
we
So I'll
do
get
see
Sirius.
any major differences.
something
in,
like,
is
do
it
like
just ash that's
160?
come out of this thing and sulfur and the fish distributions look like? That would be fine with me.
Great.
Yeah, 160 looks
Yeah,
good to
me
me.
too.
30 meters. That'll get him
Yeah, let's just do 30 meter hops.
The
So we can make sure
counterclockwise
it's
30
safe.
direction.
meters.
on the
160.
Yeah,
Current.
I'm pushing
Indeed,
it up.
it is.
So
Yeah, it
I was
is.
sitting on the bottom.
Okay, I'll get that in, and then you work your way south around. Yeah.
Yep.
Sound good?
Okay.
Bridge, RV nav.
Also, everyone,
Ready for another
How
move.
does that?
30
about
meters, bearing
more
a
hours until the
160
end of the
degrees,
dive, or till the
decimal
end of the
29.
benthic portion of the dive.
Okay, did everybody hear that? Because I think someone was talking. Say it again, Casey.
Good copy,
Just so
Bridge.
you all are aware, we have about 3 more hours until the end of the benthic portion of this dive.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, the original plan was to hop from here down into the bottom of the crater and then come up the other side and then decide what to do from there. So
Right.
Okay, so this is still sticking with the plan except for going down to the bottom.
right.
Tim, what do you think about playing with lights, like less forward, more sides or something?
Feel free.
Bill, is there any desire to get to the summit?
Not sure there's really a right answer.
I think-
all the particulate in water. So
Yeah.
I think that's out here, right?
What I remember of the summit is that it got more rocky up there. there were
Different
more
biology.
some lava outcrops up there. I think I would be more interested in just going around the rim of this crater just to see, like we were just discussing, if the deposits change around the rim and maybe seeing if the distribution of the fish changes around this crater.
So I'm going to try to stay just about this angle and distance from you.
Summit, but, does anybody else have a different opinion?
You think we have time to do both?
We might.
Probably,
Actually,
I don't
your
know,
view looks
3 hours?
beautiful now. I'm not
So you probably can make it around half of the crater and then up at least a little bit towards the summit. So in order to get to the correct positioning for the mid-water work, we want to at least begin working our way back towards this hydrothermal vents that we saw earlier. So going to the summit would be helpful if once we got sort of halfway around the crater, instead of doing a full circle, we went halfway around and then went up at least towards the summit. Does that make sense?
Sure. The summit's kind of south of the crater, right? South.
Correct.
Yeah, if you could zoom out a little bit more on the map, that would help. On our quad view, there's these clocks on the bottom of the screen, so they obscure part of the map. There we go. Yeah, so the summit's kind of due south of the crater.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
And after this, we're going to be going largely south, right?
Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we kick up clouds of this really, really fine ash on
Try to
the
get my heading
on
there
the
as we get
rim of the
close.
crater, you can see it wafting
Yes, I did.
downslope.
Yep.
And that's pretty clearly the dominant
Yep.
current, at least in this part of the slope, because you're seeing ripple marks,
Okay.
those
Sounds good.
wavy, dark and light features on the seafloor
What was
that are
survey one saying?
oriented perpendicular
so
to the direction the current is going.
Sail around south, then head up to
Just
the top.
along this contour line, right?
Yep, around this contour
Right.
line,
Yep.
and then we'll head south up, up,
Okay.
and then once we
We'll
get to
see
the
little
top, then we'll jump,
projections of
stay in the water column, and go over those pools
slope
Okay.
into the crater.
right.
Sounds good.
that we did early on.
And we're seeing little projections of structures
Take a look at this.
in the view right now. Might be coming into view for you folks at home pretty soon.
Just let me know.
Yeah,
You feel
I
uncomfortable,
think
co-pilot?
anything that sticks up.
About 2/3 of the way through that move there.
Mainly,
Okay.
Co-pilot.
at least in this area.
Okay.
There are actually some rocks near the summit. I remember from a previous
Okay, we're
visit,
good.
but not down here. I don't think. Although I could
It's
be wrong.
crazy.
I'd like to have a better view of my
See, I wonder if your verts are
hard to
Yeah.
tell.
doing that to you.
Yep.
And the morphology of these things
And
is,
I'm, yeah.
you
Can't
know,
get any
not like
closer.
a block of rock. They are very irregular.
Right. And they are pretty clearly coated with
Yeah,
sulfur.
something, right?
It's not completely
Maybe
all
if you
sulfur.
drive up to one, you can get a
Okay,
good view. before
okay.
you
When is a
swim over.
rock not a rock?
That's a good question, because a rock is just a hard thing.
I guess sulfur is a mineral.
Ooh, look at this layering. Okay, you guys, onshore, you're going to see some very interesting
It's,
contorted layering here.
Yeah, but see, I was asking Patty that
Gotcha.
question yesterday in a different
Copy
way
that.
because she was talking about
Bridge
sticky
RVNF.
Should be about it.
sticky rocks, and it's like one was like toothpaste. No,
Well,
not
no.
toothpaste, just sticky.
Not sticky rock, but sticky
Sticky
current
magma
position, please.
coming out of a rhyolite
Bridge.
volcanic dome, and you get these big
This
spines
one
sticking up
probably
like
skirt around
hundreds of
this.
feet into the
Yeah,
air
looking at your
before
sonar,
they
you got some pretty
crumble
good
and cause a new air
returns
dump
to
that
see.
sweeps
Yep.
down and kills everybody. And
Yeah.
Basically,
So that one's that
On the
one.
slopes of the
take it,
volcano.
tethers off to
Yeah.
port, but I really can't tell.
Lava
Yeah, I think
can
the
be
so
so
tether's okay.
viscous
But
that it looks solid
Thank you, Bridge.
as it
yeah,
you can come up a few meters
right.
if you want.
flows
We can take a
really
look at this.
slowly, but
Okay. I'm okay with the
still
current
flow.
delta.
So
Just don't
it's
lose
almost
visuals.
counterintuitive. So that's
That's about all I can
Uh,
do.
you know, there's a huge difference between really fluid lava that moves quickly and really viscous lava that's almost looks
pretty
like
nice. You can
a
lose the
solid
skids
as
video.
it's moving, and it can
Interesting
be
formation
solid
here.
on the outside
Tar.
and still kind of
You can lose
fluid,
the skids.
barely on the inside.
Yep.
Yeah, sort of like, real warm plastic. I mean, if you think of stuff being pushed by a bulldozer and piling up in front, if the magma coming up is acting as the bulldozer, it's pushing all this rubble out in front of it. And if you have magma that has a high silica content, often it will be glassy. People know this as obsidian. And you can have flows of obsidian that really look just like piles of
Can you zoom in?
very angular
Just frame up
blocks
the
of
rock.
glass.
Hold there.
But these are
It looks
fascinating.
like there's maybe filamentous bacterial mat on the
That water shimmer?
Yeah, could
Could we
try
zoom in
is-
on this to see if we
Go
can
ahead.
see some bacterial mat?
Zoom in.
Yeah, there's certainly
Okay.
something
So what do you suppose
waving
is
in the
supporting
current.
it? I mean, do we have
I know. What's
sulfide
that?
in this water? Is this
Little shrimp.
sulfide
Right.
oxidizer? Or are we just looking?
I think we're just looking
Yeah.
at current.
Yeah, that's a paleomonid shrimp.
There's a shrimp.
What kind of shrimp is that?
It's not an alvina caride. It's a paleomonid, I believe. We haven't got all our shrimp experts online. So are we? What is this microbe? Interesting, huh?
Well, there is lots of sulfide in some of the water here.
So now you
Okay.
can kind of see.
So they would
I
have.
have just a bit more zoom if they need it, but I'm happy to stay.
I'm facing like.
Yeah, I'm wondering if these like
Somebody said
rock
these
features
are-
maybe
I
turn
think
around
they
a
are,
Bill.
little bit for you
I've just
because
been
Yeah.
staring at
your
it,
thrusters
but
would
I can see the
suggest
series
that
going
current's
in and
coming right
out
at
along
you.
the edge of the
Yeah.
swamp.
A little bit.
There's some
No,
barnacles.
from the
yeah, your
Barnacles.
starboard.
I wanna
So
see-
pushing hard
barnacles.
starboard. Yeah.
that would say current.
Okay, pilot, can you
Oh,
zoom
yeah,
in
right
the
underneath.
underside?
The
Where-
underside,
Looks
yeah.
like
Zoom
there are
out.
barnacles there.
Zoom out.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
you're
there's a
fine.
good one
Sorry,
in
Nav and I were
profile
just
there.
discussing something as well.
Yeah, you can see them under in that dark shadowy.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
we're not going.
That's interesting.
Wow,
Over
look how
this.
steep that is. Woof.
They don't have too many options for substrate, probably.
Because there's no rocks around.
Oh, there are. They're just coated with bacteria. Come on, the rocks are under there. They're just tiny pieces of volcaniclastics, all glued together by bio goo.
What's the code for that?
Yuck. Y-U-K.
Okay, zoom in, and I'll.
We have all these codes out here that we're putting in the log for fish is FSH, and there's another crab. Oop, oop, oop. Another flatfish.
Do we?
Go ahead.
Where do you find the code list? Is there a code list down there?
Oh,
Yeah, we have
God.
we
Don't
have-
say that. Now they're going to, populate our chat log, and I'm not going to see anything that you guys wrote for the last 10 minutes.
It's going to be like texting with all these
Little
weird
fish.
code terms they're going to come
Yeah,
up with.
well-
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Nice.
we'll give you the link to
I
it.
do not see any barnacles.
Oh, it's another flash.
It's on the
Flatfish.
Okeanos website.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
indeed. Now,
Yeah,
a
it's
shrimp.
barnacle
What
in
is
the
that?
upper left. there.
upper left,
Upper right.
Upper
upper right.
Which is it?
I do see feathery
Yes.
things sticking out.
All right.
Oh yeah, I just saw the retraction.
Oh, yeah, there we go. The
Yeah,
CRI. Yep.
You
Right
see
up at the
it?
top,
Okay,
like
so-
it. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay.
You got
Little
it.
shrimp
Wow,
back
and
there.
they're little. Oh, yep. Pulled his CRI in, but I see some others. Wow. So barnacles,
Oh, wow, look at them.
bacteria covered.
And they look,
Barnacles.
the theory look white, so they
They
may
do.
actually have bacteria
On them. Yeah, really, they might.
Well, what color are they?
They're quite thick.
They look kind of fuzzy.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Pilot, can we get
So
any
this is
closer
probably
zoom
a
on those
species of
cirri?
You got any more
Neoveruca
zoom?
that's been
Full.
found in
it's
this
full.
Okay, let's pull out and I'll.
area that
Okay,
a
no,
lady from
closest.
Japan
Well, I can move closer.
Okay.
been working on them.
Thank you, Pilot. I just really love this steeply dipping layers of volcaniclastics at the edge of this crater.
Temperature's back down here.
So, is the reason why we don't see any other fish, or few, that
Stinky
they
down there.
just would not, regular benthic or pelagic fish would not like the hydrothermal effluent, so they stay away.
It's not going to be great.
Well, maybe not the sulfur, specifically the sulfur.
Yeah, it's too stinky.
You want to zoom in? The
Yep.
lighting's
So,
not going to be great.
John
Oh, that's
Dower
right.
just sent me a note wondering whether we were getting near dusk
Try serious.
Let's see.
in the Marianas because the fish might well be starting to appear
No, it's 1:16 in the
as
afternoon.
they come shallower, and that was when we started seeing the McTophids crashing onto the bottom. Was at dusk dawn, that changeover time.
Yeah,
It's mid-afternoon and on
Yeah.
the ship, yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
early afternoon.
But I wouldn't. But in general, you could be right, Bill. There's so much sulfur
Oh, my.
and plumes going up from this volcano that we made.
Go ahead,
I
Sarah.
mean, we did see some Synaphabranchid eels on other seamounts
Yeah, so we've had to change
and other dives. So yeah,
plan a little bit
it's
because
rather
we got up to the
intriguing that
top
we
of
aren't
the-
seeing anything. You notice
near
there's
the
a
top of the
flatfish
ridge,
upside
and
down
we
here.
just
Oh,
lost
there is
all
a
visibility.
flatfish.
Side of this image.
And
Right at the bottom of the image.
you know, I
Just
just
hanging on upside
Yeah.
down.
there's no way we could
Under
descend
that
down
rock.
the backside of that. So
under
it was
that
either
Yep.
picking up and dropping down on top
did
of
we do
waypoint
that?
6, or just following the crater rim, and we decided to go with the crater rim.
They hang on for dear
counterclockwise,
life.
you go upstream.
There's
Well, the edges of the fins just have little fin rays on
Yeah,
them,
they
and
have-
I suspect
I think we might just follow
suspect
the
he's wedging
crater rim.
with
We'll
those.
see if visibility clears up, but
What's
if
that
not,
in
we're
the
just
upper?
going to start the
Oh, that's the
mid-waters.
head in the upper left.
Upper
There's
left.
another
We get a
one
good,
up the top.
Oh, it's
yeah,
the
get a
head of
picture of
the
the head of the
Yeah.
other fish in the upper left.
Yep.
Okay, coming wide there.
Coming
There
wide.
was a
Very
crab.
nice.
Wow, that was
Thank
a
you,
beautiful
pilot.
video.
Oh, he's
Wow.
escaping, it looks like.
Okay.
I am.
And thank you, Tara.
Party
Yeah,
we're
look at this
having.
feature.
This is such fun.
Boy, those barnacles are
Judging by
so
your
tiny.
sonar pilot, there was some good
They
returns
are,
to your
yeah.
port.
Yep.
And they look like they're having a hard time getting their Siri
I'm just
out
gonna
there
look
because
out
the
there,
current is
but-
so strong.
I'd like to not
Should
be
probably
descending.
take a minute to
So-
tell everybody who's listening on shore what we're
You
doing.
kind of need to
Yeah,
head
and
almost
where we are,
over 4 or
and who we
5
are,
to get back on your
and
contour.
why we are
Yep.
here where we
Well,
are.
I'd like to
Okay, well, I'll
get
start.
above this,
All
this
right.
jagged edge here.
Hello,
Okay.
everyone out there.
Yeah.
We are coming
just
to
looking around and then we'll get it
live,
dialed in.
real time, from the Okeanos Explorer, America's ship for ocean exploration. And we are currently at a place called Daikoku Seamount, the Mariana Trench
tubes.
National Monument. I
wanna
am
do
Shirley
snap zoom?
Pomponi. I am the biology science lead for this mission. I am from Harbor
Hold
Branch
there,
Oceanographic Institute, Florida Atlantic University, and NOAA's Cooperative Institute for Ocean Exploration Research and Technology. And
Worm
what are
tubes?
those things?
Are
no,
those worm tubes?
I don't know. I don't know.
Zoom out. I'm going to get closer.
Okay, and my sidekick here.
Oh.
I think.
What are they, Verena?
They're tube worms.
How you doing,
Well,
co-pilot?
I just wrote Lamellobrachia, but I
okay.
would be better to see them a little
Still
bit
have-
better.
Not sure.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay,
get a
we're
zoom.
gonna-
How
yeah,
much
We're
tether
gonna
do you
get
have
a zoom.
left? Maybe a
Okay,
little bit.
that would
Yeah,
be
I'm gonna
awesome.
give you a little
Okay.
more.
And your geology lead, who's
I think I'm
freaking
okay.
out here because this is such a great dive, is Patty Fryer. I'm a research professor at the University of Hawaii Manoa, and I'm part of the Hawaii Institute of Geophysics and Planetology on the island of Oahu.
They're not. They're leaving too much.
And you're hearing commentary from the rest of our science team.
Okay,
They're
go
All
ahead.
of them on shore.
They're all participating from shore-based locations.
Sorry,
Oh, what is
Oh,
that?
my
Okay.
goodness, it looks like
looks-
bacterial filaments or something, huh?
Sorry, Tara.
It's covered with
No worries.
bacteria, whatever it is.
This is still hopeful.
What do you think now,
Zoom out.
Verena?
I'm going to get a different toe hold.
Roger.
Did you get close enough?
It looks more
I
like
know.
a piece of rope
I
with
know that's.
with
I know.
bacterial mat all over it.
I know that's what it looks like.
That's no. Those aren't Lamellobrachia.
No, that was wishful thinking on our part, though.
Yeah, we were looking for some other sort of critter. We've been seeing these little flatfish everywhere, and what you're looking at right now actually is geology, covered with biology. Those are rocks, and they're covered with
Okay,
this
go ahead.
absolute forest
Hold there.
of bacterial mat waving in the currents. Look at that.
And then
like,
they, right?
So what is this
velvet.
filament?
No,
Well,
I
we
don't
wonder.
think so, Bill.
No.
I think it's.
That's what I
don't
thought
know.
too, Bill.
I just wrote down that it's a piece of rope covered with bacteria, but
I could
I
zoom
don't
on the ones
know.
on the right there. They look like they're a bit more exposed.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Wait a sec. If we look over to the right,
Yes.
can we really see?
Is it okay to zoom
What?
a little bit more?
Can we
Pilot?
really see what?
Hold on one
Yep,
second.
standing by.
It looks like they're attached.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
They are
that is
attached to the
tubes coming out
seafloor.
of the-
Yes. It's attached
going
to
right
the
into
ash.
the seafloor?
Yep. It is. I think they're worm
Okay.
tubes.
All right. Yes, they are. It's so
Yay!
much current. That's
Yeah,
the
look at the
current.
poor shrimp trying
Yep.
to swim. Little legs going like mad. Man,
So, because we do see lamellobrachia at the bottom of this seamount, then this could well be.
I've never seen them,
So I
with
think
their
now
bottom,
once we get going, we're probably going to have to go
not on a rock.
further south,
Yeah,
And
lamellobrachia
then
does
we can-
do
I
that.
just wanna
They,
get up above
they
that to get
If
will.
I have any more zoom.
Yeah,
and then we'll.
definitely.
They can anchor somehow.
They will grow backwards into sediment.
well, remember that
Thinking,
there was a
bring
volcanic
Sirius kinda where
eruption
you are
here
now,
fairly recently. There may have
or,
been ash
think we'd
thrown
have to-
out.
Or you want to go
Oh,
straight
we've
south
got
over
to-
it, then come meet.
When we,
And
when
these
it comes
guys
up, I'll
might be
get
attached
a
to rocks
bearing, but
beneath.
it's probably going to be further south than
Okay.
where we're
Yeah, it
facing.
would be nice to see if they
Go ahead,
actually
Washley.
have something coming out of the tube.
That's a good point. There could be ash mantling the surface, and there's
Uh,
rocks.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
any
'cause-
plume coming out of the
I think
top.
we could.
No, there are a lot of rocks all around this area that could be good anchors for them originally.
The thing
Do
that
you
might
think
be
maybe they're dead now and
difficult is
the
getting it in
bacteria
the box.
covering them is...
But I could set up
because
so
they're
that
no
my
longer
back is
living?
into the current.
Well, I can only see
Which will
one
block some of it.
top, the one
Swirl
over
it
to the
in.
right there,
Yeah.
and I don't see a plume, an obturaculum
Well.
coming out of it.
Okay.
Be a tricksy one.
It'd be a difficult one.
Yeah,
I could definitely
also
grab
agree.
it.
This is
I could
Tara,
set up,
but,
grab it.
These don't really
If
look
my back is into the
alive.
current, which I
Doesn't
can
mean they're
do,
not, but
there's a chance I
don't
should be able
look
to
it.
get it to stay
Yeah, I
in the box.
agree.
Pilot, do you mind if we do it?
Okay, so is the consensus then
Just a
to
quick
not
image.
collect
never mind. He's
this?
getting out of the screen.
I don't think it's worth it.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, good. Okay.
What'd you need, Tara?
All right, nothing. I'll just
Okay.
do a quick
I guess you
establishing.
can grab a
All right.
flatfish, we'll take that.
Sorry, I've just got a really good
Oh,
toe
they
hold
would
here.
be tough.
Starting to lose.
The
Well,
crab
I was
would be
hoping for
easier.
Yeah,
crab, but
we know what
he's-
the crab
he's
is.
escaping into the darkness.
We would love to get our hands on a flatfish.
All right.
Okay.
Bring a net next time.
Okay.
Next year.
I'm going to come up.
Current is still toward
Oh,
the
but I like
crater.
the rocks outcropping, even though they
Yes.
are covered with goo.
So I'm coming up. Keep an eye on everything, co-pilot. I'm going to turn.
So this mission has been planned, is being conducted by NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research, and the ship is operated by NOAA's
So I'm gonna
Office of
push uphill
Marine
at this
and
thing,
Aviation
and if you can just
Operations.
bring your heading around
Other
and we'll
NOAA partners include National Marine Fisheries,
dial on a move.
Monuments Program, Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology Program, and National Center for Environmental Information. We also have the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration. That organization has been working on the design, refit, upgrades of the submersibles that we're operating today. And, oh, look at these nice ripples.
Beautiful ripple
Nice
marks.
ripple marks.
These are just so lovely and linear, and they are oriented perpendicular to the dominant current direction. And now we're getting into ripples that show more complex
Yeah.
orientation, suggesting changes.
Yeah, so
in
maybe right now,
current.
Yeah,
due
they
south
look like fish scales.
might look
They
pretty
do,
good.
yep.
Let me push out.
They look a little bit more
So
like
get Sirius
stars
right where you are now, kind of.
that
Yeah.
form when the
We just kind of skirt
diurnal changes in wind
I
patterns
don't want to get too off.
make the winds
oh,
come
look
from
at this.
a variety of different directions. We have an awful lot of outcroppings of rocks over on the left-hand side of the screen, though.
Would you like to look at them?
I know
set
that
up
they are
at
covered with
180, and it's
biogoo.
starting to pull out
If
ahead.
any of the shoreside geologists want a rock,
So we're both
might
about 180.
could not be too
Let's
hard
do,
to pick one up
let's do-
here, but haven't
Oh.
heard any. Yeah, let's grab
Simple.
ones yet.
Yeah.
Deborah Glickson says no.
No,
Rest in
no,
peace.
that's for no, that was for the biological sample,
Oh,
and
thank
the
you.
rip is for ripples.
Okay.
Let's do 20
Well, I
meters,
figured she was
180.
saying no for the rest
Right.
in peace for the two
Right.
verbs. Thank you, Deb.
Bridge ROV nav.
I would say we should save.
Ready for another
rock
ship
sample
move. 20
for,
meters, bearing 180 decimal
as
2
we go
knots.
around the crater, if we see anything that looks like it was recently thrown out as part of the recent eruption. So
Yep.
I don't know what that would look like.
That is correct.
Me either.
Probably not like this.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're right about that. Although, you know, some of these boulders that were cobbles and things we're seeing up here on the rim may have been tossed out during the eruption, but because they're so covered with the biological mat, all that bacteria, I don't think, you know, we're not going to be able to see anything diagnostic, at least not on their surfaces.
Can you use the skids, Tara?
There's considerable variation in the temperature here. I'm going to switch my screen for a second to the co-pilot screen and see if I can tell what that scale is.
Good copy. Thank you, Bridge.
Where's my co-pilot screen?
Go down. Keep going down.
I see
Yeah.
it.
Watch leads, that temperature spike was near 15 degrees. Now we're back around 14.
Roger that.
Okay.
Yep. Temperatures.
Yeah, so the scale on your screen that you're seeing the temperature values in goes from 13 at the bottom to 15 at the top, 14 right in the middle.
So probably which
0.5
direction would you say
intervals
current
on
is
those
now?
horizontal lines.
You'd say probably from your starboard to your port.
Hold on, I'll line up with it.
So I think that was when we were sort of settled down.
Yeah, starboard to port right
On
now.
the seafront.
So
So
almost.
southwest, same. What I've been feeling.
Huh.
It seems to all be going into the crater.
If you had a sled right here, you'd have a really good ride.
Still got visual, co-pilot?
Just barely, yep.
Yeah, I'll back up.
I do have you pretty well on the bubble cam, which
Oh, good.
works better with my lights off.
Good. Yep. So what is the idea here, watch lead, with going along the rim? I mean, do we want to? Are we trying to look for an entrance into the crater, or what?
Yeah, that would be great if we could do that.
Looks like visibility is getting a little bit worse in Sirius.
Yeah. I mean, since we couldn't go into the crater because of the visibility, then the plan was to just move around the rim. But if you find a place where we
Bring
could
myself
actually go
around
into
to
the crater, that would be awesome.
90 or so.
How are we doing on the ship move? Is it done?
Almost there. 4 meters left.
Okay.
Not even.
Why don't you pull up a bit?
Yeah, ship's in position. Pilots.
Okay.
Now we're. Well, current seems to be less dramatic here. Kind of shielded, I guess.
It's floating, yeah. Want to try going in a bit? Looks like you're seeing 10 meters.
Yeah, visibility's definitely better here.
Up and down.
So let's.
Currents died down a little bit.
They
pilot?
did.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
we've been maybe getting shielded by that peak now or something. It's definitely a lot calmer here.
Does look
Yeah,
very
watch
calm.
the pilot. You're
Yeah.
gonna try and
Temps
head
back
down.
up to 15.
I think at the very least, yeah, we'll kind of skirt along this slope here.
Okay, thanks.
It's pretty calm. Visibility's a bit better.
Your heading is lined up with the contour lines, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
let's do that.
Something I
So
go-
I'm gonna push out, but
Okay, shore-based scientists, what we're going to try and do here is, since the visibility is a little bit better, the currents died down, we're going to try to get a little bit
let's-
lower and
yeah.
go into the crater a little bit.
let's do. Let's see.
So, Sirius is almost settling out here.
Yeah.
I'd bring Sirius something like
Sounds good. Yeah.
maybe just where you are again.
Yeah, let's
Here
just
it is.
let's. I think that's
Where-
smart. Just bringing Sirius
And,
where we
it's
can see
interesting 'cause on
D2.
the map,
Yeah.
You know, and I can kind of creep
I
along.
guess
as I
this
wait
part of
for
the
it.
crater must be kind of
Yeah,
gradually.
alright. He's
gradual
maybe
compared to
190
the-
for me.
It
It
looks
looks
like a
there's
wall here.
another part that's
Is 180 seem
super
okay?
steep
Nice,
later
straight
on.
south.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. I see that wall on
Hardly
the
looks
sonar.
like we're on the edge of the
Copy
crater
that.
on the map.
And that is about 25 meters away.
Yes, it is.
So let's just do.
You can do 15 then.
Yeah.
1 foot sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do 15 meters.
Yeah. Keep it safe. All right. Bridge RV nav. Ready for another short move here. 15 meters, bearing 180 degrees, decimal 2 knots. That is correct.
15 is the worst number to say.
So it could be 50.
Sounds like 50.
That's why I say a short move right before.
You could just say 1.5.
Oh my! Look at the wall of this crater.
Yeah, just be mindful,
Boy,
co-pilot.
I bet if you went over there and poked it with the ROV, a lot of that stuff would just
Oh, I see
fall
my
right
tether.
off.
It's
Looks
Makes it
very
right tether.
loose.
it's in a good place. It's where I thought it was. But
Interesting that we're like parallel to the contour, but we got this cliff here.
Anybody who's ever been to Bryce Canyon will be looking at this. It's a little coarser. The sediments that
top of it, I
make
think.
up the Bryce Canyon National Park or Monument. I'm not sure whether it's a park or a monument. All those
We should
wonderful
come up a bit.
variations in color in the layers. Basically, that's lake sediment. An ancient lake was
yeah, I
in
should
that
have known. I could see you
environment,
again.
and then the whole of that portion of these, the area was uplifted and lake drained, and all of the sediment started to be eroded by rain, and it formed what are called hoodoos. These are little pinnacles that form as light, fine sediment like that is eroded. I think what we're seeing here is
Patty,
just... Yep, go ahead.
Let me interrupt. On some of those rocks we just rose above,
Yeah?
it looked like there were a bunch of little white things hanging down. I'm curious if those are.
Yeah, come up more.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah,
our
we
shots,
want to zoom in?
actually.
And what are these things in the water column, too? We can see larger
Let's
things in
just
the
stop it.
mid-water, too.
Pilot, we're wondering if we could
Bridge
zoom in
REF.
on the white things on the rocks.
Can we hold
Yeah.
current position, please?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bridge.
Well, it's
Speech is
much
a little more
blockier here than it
dramatic
was
than,
down below.
Yeah, quite a bit different geography than we were expecting here.
Oh, jeez.
That's why we make short moves.
Yeah.
co-pilot. We're okay.
I'm looking good. I think I'm gonna pull up a little bit
Yeah,
more.
you should come up a little more, but I think you're safely away from the
See
cliff.
both
The back
footballs,
too, the
they're
back
not near
there.
the cliff.
Yep, we're all
There's
good.
some
More tube worms on
We're all
the
good.
wall.
All right, watch lead. We've stopped the ship. We can hang out here for a
Okay.
bit and look around. So
Thanks very much. So we've stopped the ship here and going to try to zoom around and look at some of these things. People are interested in the worms on the lower left as
okay,
well.
we can do that.
And there's something right
But, yeah,
there.
So in this kind of
those things on the
situation,
rocks
Dave,
right in front of us are
Yeah,
we just want to
right.
make sure that the cliff face isn't closer than like
Yeah.
15
Wa-
meters
Yeah, we can
from
look at
you
it
from,
all.
Yeah.
from
Okay.
Sirius. So that's kind of what we're watching out for.
All right.
15 is kind of the max that we want to be. So
Yeah,
like,
pilots are going to
we're
get
at
us
maybe 18
into
or so
position,
now.
hovering
Yeah,
here,
so
and
this is fine.
then we'll just zoom in.
but if the current shifts
And we can
and
take a
you
look at
notice
all
them
the
getting
stuff.
closer, just say something.
Okay.
All right,
Wow,
we're zooming
lots
in
of
on these
cracks
worms.
in the wall here.
I'm gonna bring one of my lights on to try to get my Titan somewhere useful. Oh boy.
Why don't we bring the upper
Forget
swing arms
that.
in too?
Okay.
Pilots, I have the Sirius really gained up, so if you want to bring on lights, I can gain it down. And
No, I think this is.
Actually,
Probably
I can
the
see
best.
D2 pretty well in the smaller monitor, not so much in
Yeah.
the
There
bigger
might
one.
be a plume emerging.
All right,
Okay,
I'm coming
you
into
want-
that tube
You
worm.
want both starboards in, right?
Oh, you think?
Both
Right in front of
uppers.
us.
Both.
here.
Sorry, yes,
And-
both uppers.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Pilot,
Yes.
Shore says there may be a plume emerging from the top of that tube worm.
Oh, I see that.
And on the uppers,
we
I
could
don't
get
need
a
to worry about rotation.
close
right?
view.
I can just
Now, is that the one on the
Yeah, you
very
can just
bottom
stow.
of your screen,
You
or
can
the
zoom
one
in
that looks
partial.
like it has sort of a white
stowing port.
thicker
you can see it in the real camera.
cap
Yep.
on the top of
And
the
then
tube?
once you stow
The one,
them,
the one beside it,
bring them
the
up.
little black top
Oh, okay.
might turn out to be red.
And it's not a
And the same, and the one
safety
down.
thing in terms of stowing. It's
so you've
just
got a
the
big
lighting.
tall one, the one next to it,
Stowing
and then
starboard.
just off to the right of that, just what, 20 centimeters away. That looks like a plume coming out to me. It looks black
Okay, that
from
one's
this
stowed.
distance.
I can't really see that, but surely.
I can
All the
I
way
can
up?
see the
All the way up. Yep.
that tube, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's
Covered
what they're looking.
So watch these. We had our upper swing arms out. We're stowing them now
Yeah,
just so
I'm
we
looking
don't
at the
bump them.
tubes that are at
Yeah.
the bottom
We'll
of the
get
screen.
closer.
Right, got it.
Anyway, we just if we could
Port.
zoom in at the
Oh.
top of them, I think you
And
might
can
see
you
that there's an
use-
obstruction coming out of there.
Actually,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
You explain
watch
it,
lead
Shirley.
pilot.
go ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah, once you get everything stowed, if we can zoom in, oops,
Yep,
down
I'm-
off the bottom
I'm,
of the screen. Yeah.
We're just checking our swing arms here. And
Oh, okay.
So your upper
Yeah,
port is not all the way stowed. You see that?
They're just checking their orientation,
Port upper.
It's a little bit slower than this.
trying
Oh,
to get the
yeah.
lights and the cameras in position so that they can
See,
No, it's full
now
of
the
stuff.
starboard one doesn't look like it's
maximize
up.
the video view. They have a bunch of movable
So we're trying down.
booms that have the lights and some of the additional
It's the
cameras, the
Valtech.
smaller cameras
Yeah, no,
that
it's
they
moving.
use
Oh,
for
it is? Okay.
positioning,
Is
for
it just
picking
really
up
slow?
samples and also for lighting features
further
from
up,
different
or-
directions
it's
so that
changing.
it can maximize the
Okay.
exposure and
Yeah, we'll go with that.
get
So,
good
okay.
shadowing on
Happy
things
with the
if
lowers?
need be.
The lowers should be okay.
All right, should I go off or be ready?
Okay, it looks like
I
there
can keep it
are
enabled if you want.
if those are barnacles, there are lots of them on the rock.
Ready?
Okay, it looks like
I
there
can keep it
are
enabled if you want.
if those are barnacles, there are lots of them on the rocks.
All right,
I'll
coming down to
say-
you, tube worm. Sorry.
Okay, and they we wanted to see the top of the tube worm the tube. Not sure it's a tube worm, but the tube. Just zoom in on the top of
Let's
it.
see if something's sticking out of it that might be moving about.
Okay, just get
Wow,
up here
everything is covered with ash, though.
and Everything looks safe.
I wonder how the barnacles fare
Looks good to
after
me.
an eruption like this. Did they have a hard time? You know, if it just clearly, I mean, this was a pretty
But
big
see,
explosion.
but we didn't see any down
Just about to touch
lower.
my toe.
Not many of them down lower.
Might be
So,
okay on a vertical face like this.
yeah.
There we are.
Yeah, they must have been facing right into, you know, whatever was coming out of the throat